Hello. Uh, Boys and girls, I greet you all. Grade 11, completing the square, solving for x by completing the square. So, in grade 11, we are all familiar by this general equation of a quadratic function. A squared plus bx is equals to c. Not to forget that for you to complete the square, the value of a must always be 1. And another step, for you to complete the square, you must always multiply the value of b by 1/2. You square it, then you add it both sides. We have the left hand side and the right hand side of the equation. So the first example is going to be x squared minus 4x plus 2 is equals to 0. We are solving for x by completing the square. Looking at this equation, we have the left hand side, we also have the right hand side. We can have the left hand side is this side, the right hand side is the other side. So the left hand side, that's where we are having x squared minus 4x plus 2. Then the right hand side we're having 0. So what you need to do when you're solving for x here is to transpose positive 2 to the right hand side. And when you transpose positive 2 to the right hand side, it's now going to become negative 2. That is the first step. We're going to have x squared minus 4x is equals to negative 2. You have transposed positive 2 to the right hand side. It became negative 2. Is step number 1. Step number 2. What you need to do is to multiply the value of b. You multiply the value of b by 1/2. You square it. You add it at the right hand side and at the left hand side. I said step number 2. You multiply the value of b, which is negative 4. You add it at the right hand side and also at the left hand side. So let's do that. We're going to have x squared minus 4x plus, I said we add it at the right hand side and the left hand side, plus what? Inside the brackets. Let's take it with its sign so that we don't make a mistake. We're going to have 1/2 multiplied by negative 4. We square it. It's equals to negative 2 plus 1/2 multiplied by negative 4 squared. Like I said, what you do at the right hand side, you also do it at the right hand side. If you look at the equation, we have added this 1/2 multiplied by negative 4 and 1/2 multiplied by negative 4 at the right hand side and at the left hand side. We also square them. That is step number 2. Step number 3. We are going to simplify everything that is inside the brackets. Step number 3, we simplify everything that is inside the brackets. We are now going to have x squared minus 4x plus inside the brackets. To simplify what we have inside the brackets, we use a calculator. Inside the brackets, we're having 1/2 multiplied by negative 4. The answer is negative 2. We put it inside the brackets. Don't forget, inside the brackets, we are now having negative 2 squared is equals to negative 2 plus negative 2 squared. There's no need for you to do the calculation on the other brackets because the left hand side and the right hand side, they are having the same brackets. So if the answer here is negative 2, even the other side is going to be negative 2. So we are fine. So what you need to do now at the left hand side is very much important. And please make sure that you listen very much attentively. So you're going to get rid of the middle term, which is negative 4x. You only concentrate on the numbers that are raised to the power 2, which is x and negative 2. You put them inside the brackets. I said you get rid of x, you get rid of negative 4x. You only concentrate on the numbers that are raised to the power 2. If you look at the numbers that are raised to the power 2, at your left-hand side is x and negative 2. X and negative 2 are the ones that were raised to the power 2. And then you raise them to the power 2. You haven't changed them. You just get rid of this. Then you take this and this number, you put them inside the brackets, you raise them to the power 2. With its sign, it was negative 2, it was positive x, is equals to. Then the other side, you use a calculator. We are now going to have negative 2 plus 4. Somebody is confused. Why do we say plus 4? We are going to have in brackets negative 2 squared, which is positive 4. So now, let's deal with the right-hand side first. Let's simplify the right-hand side. Left-hand side is still going to be x minus 2 squared is equals to, let's use a calculator there, minus 2 plus 4. The answer is 2. The answer is positive 2. Don't forget, we are solving for x. What is the next step? Is to introduce the square root both sides. We introduce the square root both sides. When you introduce the square root both sides, the square root and the square, they are going to cancel each other. We're going to left with what we have inside the brackets, which is x minus 2 is equals to plus or minus the square root of 2. Please don't forget the plus or minus, because most of you just write the square root of 2, which is incorrect. You must always indicate plus or minus square root of 2. We're having two solutions there. Now you can separate that to have x minus 2 is equals to negative 2 or negative 2 square root, negative square root of 2, or x minus 2 is equals to positive square root of 2. We are solving for x, don't forget. So now for you to remain with x only on this side, you just have to transpose to the other side. Is going to be positive. We're going to have x is equals to 2 minus square root of 2. X is equals to 2 plus square root of 2. These are the values of x by completing the square. Any question? Make sure that you comment with your question, then I will make sure that I answer you as soon as possible. Any question that we have, type your question in the comment section, and then I'll get back to you with another video to respond to that question.